Hey, my name is Kathy Weller Art, and every day I live stream. Every day I live stream. We have a project slash exercise slash whatever happens, something happens at 10:30 or 10 o'clock. Sorry, not 10:30. Coffee, cheers. I haven't had enough yet. And then we hang for about an hour, sometimes an hour and 15. And then I come back at 12:30 and I do a silent live because I still have juice. There's still art juice left in me, but there's no more voice juice. So that's a fun one because then you can just sort of passively watch and see what I'm doing, and you can keep me activated in the corner of your workspace or whatever you're doing. You can just kind of have a little bud there hanging out with you and doing artwork. So I'm just grabbing my chair. That's where I went. I just disappeared to grab my chair. Hello. Welcome to my art stream. This is where I get to talk creativity, talk process, art materials. I share a lot about art materials and like art philosophy, really. So I'm going to jump right in because that's like where the fun is, right? When we're drawing. So today, what I wanted to do and what we're going to do is I've been doing book covers this week. We've been doing different projects with book covers, just reinterpreting them. And today, I want to reinterpret this one in black ink. And it's super busy and it's super fun because there's so many different busy elements in this. There's people, there's like close-up face, there's city, there's beautiful kimono this woman is wearing and just walking down the street. There's all kinds of stuff, and there's lettering, and I love doing lettering. So this is going to be really fun and really a little complicated because there's a lot going on here. So I'm taking the challenge, I'm taking the plunge. Let me just run you through, if you haven't seen my other lives, and if you want to get a sense of what I'm about here. Yesterday, this is what I drew from in my quiet live, which is this is a book cover, and I reinterpreted it here with ink. And instead of using pencil, I used a ballpoint pen for my sketch. So that's what that is. And I obviously didn't erase it. And I just want to show you some other stuff that I did. So this is a reinterpretation that I will just show you. I did this off, not on a live. I did it just on my own. And here's the original book. And here is my reinterpretation. So you see, this is a really simple cover. Very 60s, right? Isn't it kind of cool? And you really get the vibe. And that's because it is actually from, what is this from? This is from 1958, 1972. So, right? Old design. So I thought, okay, I'm going to reinterpret this. Like the lettering, I'm going to do the lettering a little bit differently. I love my brush pens, so I used it here. I mean, it's pretty similar, but isn't it fun to go in and try different lettering and try to fit all the words in? And but you're doing them a little bit differently, and it's just fun. And I also use little, I shorten words or do whatever you want. There's no major rules, but it's just the rule is to make it your own. So that's the rule. Yeah, so did this one yesterday, not on live, and did this one yesterday on a live, and I'll link that in the description later. And then I did these on live too. These are another book. This is the front and this is the back. So just to give you a sense, and I know the subject matter of the books is wildly different, but that's cool. That's what keeps it fun and interesting. I love all kinds of books, and you do too, I'm sure. So let's jump right in. I'm gonna just start, And I'm going to start with my camera flat because we might move it a little bit at some point, but I'm going to just start and draw my book outline. Actually, here's something that's fun to do. This is a good way to see like what the actual dimensions of the book are. So this book is actually pretty much, why don't we just use this? I think I might just use this entire page and not do an outline. I like to do the outline sometimes to just sort of rein myself in a little bit, but like that would be kind of fun. I'm going to pull you a little closer. I'm going to move my light down. So this is alive and anything can happen, which is part of the fun. Like part of the fun of alive is that anything can happen. So here's what we're drawing today. If you have just arrived, we're going to reinterpret this book in my style. So I'm just eyeballing. I'm not breaking out a ruler because that to me is not fun. As fun, I should say. Sometimes you need to, right? But I'm going to draw my lines first and just get my framework, right? So it's kind of like the scaffolding, just putting down my scaffolding and just eyeballing where I think the breaks are. Because in this book, I'll put this down here so you can see it too as I work. This book cover has a lot going on. It's got, I have a little bit of a delay. I just want to make sure that you can see everything. Okay, that works. Put this light down a little bit so you can see a little better, maybe. A little more light, a little more light, a little more light. I'm going to turn up my overhead light too. Just because, you know, get rid of those little shadows that are, that are right over here. Okay. So there is a lot going on. I like to often rather, not just sometimes, I like to go in with just like, I like to go in with a ballpoint pen. That's really fun. And actually, I feel like a ruler might be good for like just the little bits here. So just to be wild and whatever, I'm just going to draw some simple lines. I think this will make the process go a little bit quicker for me, and I won't have to struggle. Because sometimes when you're looking down, like when you're at this angle that I'm at right now, things can sometimes look a little bit warped. And so see, they're not perfect. That's okay. This one's thinner, but I don't want to, we're not going to get all crazy. We have an hour, right? We have an hour to work together. So let us make the most of our time. So this guy, and then there's one more here. This is my stamp. Every day when I'm done, I stamp my picture. And I usually stamp it on I'm just going to straighten this up a little bit while we're here. I usually stamp it on the back in my sketchbook. So I do the date on the back, and if I'm doing like a part 1, part 2, then I will stamp it as many times as I work on it. So I think my circle's good. I'm comfortable with my circle. It looks good, and this is gonna just, I think, make things a little quicker going for me. So I'm just gonna make some markers where I should put, I'm gonna attack, my plan of attack. I'm gonna do this over here. There we go. Put this little guy's face right here. And part of the beauty of this is the fact that it's not going to be, is the fact that it's not perfect. That is, and that it's hand done. So that is you know, part of this, like the imperfections are what make it beautiful. So in the end, and what make it you, and what make it me. So that is really important to keep, or to embrace, really, because we have to embrace that, especially nowadays. Oh my gosh, we have to embrace it because, you know, like, is creativity extinct? Is creativity endangered? Like human creativity? Endangered species, right? Seriously. I'm just going, putting in my lines, putting in my lines. And this little stamper is actually working out well for this purpose. So that's good. This line is more that way. Do like that. And then I think it's the way I'm sitting, actually. I think it's the way I'm sitting, and that's okay. It's all right. Again, imperfection is a beautiful thing. So let's embrace it. Let's embrace it because we are not machines, right? We are not machines. And that is what we should be embracing and not fighting against. All right, almost done with this part. This is kind of the part that is probably, I mean, it's really important, but it's probably the most boring, right? Let's face it. Let's face it. The lines are probably the most boring part. Then we have one right here. That. And then we have this little edge here. But this is actually really good because this stuff is like, it's sort of, it teaches you how to think in different ways too, you know? Like, yeah, it might not be comfortable, but that's part of that is the point, you know? Part of that is why it's a good little brain teaser for you. It's a good little brain exercise for you. So I'm also going to put in the publisher here. So I'm going to do that down here. You can't see. I apologize. You know, I'm blocking. Sure that. Okay. There we go. And there we go. And there we go. All right. Excellent. So now I'm just going to block in my, where I'm going to put my words. Tokyo Fashion City. These books are great for inspiration. This one, if you love Japanese style, the Fruits book, and then there's a Fruits 2 book. This was a magazine. It was a magazine of streetwear. The photographer, the name of the photographer, it's all in the all the information on like links, and the name of the photographer I'll tell you, Shoichi Aoki. And I have a link to, I have the name of the photographer and everything in the description of yesterday's Quiet Life, and I will also add that to this one when we are done. So do we want to like keep doing? I don't think so. I don't think we want to do that. I think I'm going to grab a pen and just kind of go in now. That's what I think. I'm going to erase a little bit of the pencil lines first. The boring part, right? This is our boring part that we need to set up because, I mean, it makes things a little easier later, just in case. I do believe in mistakes. I'm a mistake maven. I'm a mistake maker. I like to say there's magic in mistakes. So I actually do open the door for that this quite a bit because I kind of think there's no mistakes. And I kind of think you can always use it in a different way and just do something new, you know, like change it up. There's always a way to, cheers, there's always a way to do something. So I'm going to use this Tombow Food in a Souk soft tip. It's not really a soft tip, it's just pliable. I'm just going to go in and I'm sure I'll make some mistakes and you'll get to witness it in real time. Isn't that fun? I'm doing a little more erasing just because I don't really want to have to go back into this with an eraser, if you know what I mean. Sometimes, you know, I mean, this ink is waterproof. It's waterproof, which is great. I don't know if it's smudge proof. I haven't played around with this pen for too long yet to be able to assess all the little idiosyncrasies about the pen. Okay, let's start. And I'm a lefty, so this is my lefty chat situation is that I'm a lefty and I tend to work especially when I'm using pen, I work from left to right. So I'm going to do I'm doing from pen and I'm just going to do I'm wondering if I should zoom you a little bit. I think maybe I will because, you know, this is little stuff here. Hey, maybe I didn't quite maybe I didn't quite think about that, no? Did I? I just saw this and I thought, oh, that is going to be a fun one to do. And I also thought, oh, that's going to be like busy. That's going to be really busy. Maybe for an hour, that's going to be kind of busy, but that's okay. Here we are. Here we are together. Just totally going for it here. Oh, let's do that. That makes it a little hard for me to see. Sorry. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. Do that. I think that'll be better because I have to see my paper. That's important. Okay, square one down. Yes. All right, what's next? Um let's do kimono. Let's do kimono. I want to do kimono. And this is the bottom. This is her dress right here. So I'm going to start there. And then here's her butt. And then here's her sleeve. That. Got her bags here. Oops. I think I made her a little butt line, a little off. That's okay though. Just gonna do this for our pattern. See, she's right there. She's right there. I'm gonna just do pattern. And then she has a pretty bun and then some shiny hair. So let's do that. And where are we? That's a shadow. We got some leaves here or something. Hold on, shrub. We have some shrub, but I can't. I gotta reassess here. There we go. Let's do that. Let's do one moment, please. Station identification. Okay, there we go. That's a little better. Let's do. So here's the circle. And then, actually, let me just do the circle now like that. Let's do the entire circle because I gotta make sure that I have that down so it doesn't continue to get in my way. And look at how imperfect my circle is. Isn't that fun? There we go. Nice imperfect circle. Okay, I'm gonna put a piece of paper between my hand and the paper because I don't want to make any little messes. Let's do that. Zoom in. And that's good. All right. Let's continue now. Now I can actually see what I'm doing a little better. And then there's some buildings here. And then she's got some shrubs. I think I might just use this pen for the entire piece because it's really nice and it gives you like a lot of flexibility with your line. You know, you can do all kinds of things with it, which is really nice. I like that it has the if you push a little bit, you apply a little bit of pressure and you will have, you know, a thicker line. I haven't used it extensively enough. I just got it last week, so I don't have a lot to say about its like lasting power, excuse me. But for now, it's great, and I'm sure I'll have something to say about it down the road. Something more helpful, something more useful. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on to this girl. Well, there we go. Just keep moving down the aisle here. starting in some odd spots, I know, but just sort of go with whatever works. Oh my gosh, isn't the quiet time live in like a couple hours? I feel like this is the quiet time live. For sure. There's definitely a lot going on in these pictures. And sometimes the hardest thing is to decide which details to put in and which ones to leave behind. Good. I'm just going to put some spots on the ground for her. And okay, next one down here. I'm going to start with the awning here, window awning, because this guy has a lot. He has a lot of room. So his head doesn't actually start, but I want to make sure that I have room for his little body too. So head, shoulders, collar, jacket, long, and then have some feet. Arm. So this is a really good exercise for so many different um, strengths to strengthen your strength, to strengthen your skills. It's got a lot going on. There's, if you get a cover that you use that has a lot of people on it, like this one, it's good for figure drawing. It's good for about the detail. It's good for deciding what detail to put in and being, thoughtful about that. And it's good for, we're not there yet, but it's great for lettering too. It's good for it's good for creative lettering and also readability. So, like, if you can combine um, really expressive, inventive styles and make them readable, that's great because ultimately, words are um, ultimately as creative as lettering can be. And I love creative lettering. You do want to try and make it readable, obviously, right? But I mean, I think some people don't care so much. And I think it's totally a matter of, you know, different people have different opinions. But I try and make things readable because I have this sort of design brain always in the back when you have worked for other people. One of the great things about working for other people or for companies or whatever, and instead of just going straight freelance, is before, you know, after you know, or either get out of school or, you know, whatever. If you didn't go to school and you just want to do freelance, it's the same thing. One of the things is, you know, one of those questions is, should I work for someone else or should I just work for myself? Well, you can do either. And there's arguments for both, or there's arguments for either, I should say. But I will say, as somebody who started out working for, well, I actually did both, but I think when you work for other people, I mean, what I mean to say is I've done both early in my career. And coffee, cheers. I think for me, I know for me, it was really valuable to just for soft skills, like for people skills, for communication skills and stuff. It was really, really important to learn how to, you know, communicate in a team and all these skills that like you may not get when you're working freelance. So you might get them because, you know, we don't know, and different people have different teams and whatever that you would be working with. Maybe it's no team, but for me, it was really key to my growth and just to my learning and my understanding, my socialization. You know what I'm saying? Okay, let's move on to another one. We have this little lady down here, and she's going to go right here. I'm going to just push. I'm going to move my book holder because I don't think I need it right now. So excuse me while the live stuff happens because we are live. So there's always going to be these little adjustments. Go on. Let's look into my viewfinder here. Okay. All right. Now we're getting into the center people. So it might be a little, move you up. Okay. A little dicey. Okay. We're doing her. So she's got this big hat and her little head is coming down. So yeah, I always use, I just taught to, and it's stuck because it was a good lesson, to use other things in conjunction with what's next to what you're drawing to help you put things where they need to go. If you're drawing from some representational reference, then that is very helpful to do. And I don't know why I started with her face, but here we are. I think I started with her hat. That is a very, very big hat. Once you're getting into drawing it, that is a very big hat. And I may have made it a bigger hat. Not really sure. necklace. She has a ballet style t-shirt on. She's carrying her drink and her sweater. Let's do her arm. Here's her little sweater. Here's her arm. Her hand. Okay, let's see here. Starbucks style cup. Sweater peeking out here. Elbow there. Okay. Draw little trees, draw in the background. So kind of a interesting thing to think about, like you're thinking about your level of detail between, person and background, between the subject and the background. Just doing my lines for the pictures. Separation. And then this is just like a sort of like a metal, maybe spray painted, sort of scaffolding looking area here with a pole, put the pole in there. Okay, there, we did that one now. And then we have more of that up here. We have up here similar, and I'm going to do my in between lines and do, here we go, some lines there. Just kind of working. Okay. we're doing this one now. This little picture. This guy is tall, and his little head, he's got a mask on, so we can do that right away. And he's got very minimalist outfit. And he's holding it back. I like her hair. She's got some great hair. Oh, I think I stopped talking about this is good for. It's also great for fabric, drawing fabric. So key to just practice your fabric drawing. This is really good for that too. Just gonna fill in some of the background here. And her feet are sort of not even showing. And then he's got a white shirt out, and then he's got some black jeans, a little rip in them. Rip in the knees, black jeans. There we go. And then he's got his bag. And then there's a bunch of stuff behind him. I think I made his head too small. Okay. Okay. Let's go from bottom to top again. So let me do that. I'm gonna move you. Let's see, hold on a sec. Get in frame here. Okay, we have this girl. I think that we're at kind of the tightest part here. Cheers. We're furthest apart between our subject here and between our subject and the space that we're drawing on. So she is going here. So let's do this. Oh my gosh, that dress is amazing. So good. Okay, so I like to use the person next to her for, oop, I started her too high. I could make her hat. I think her hat is good though. I want to do that. I made her a little high, this lady. That's okay. We know, now we know. So I think she'll just, let's draw the trees behind her. I think we're just gonna have to make it work, really. Make it work time, right? And then she's got a bunch of greenery behind her. Okay, dress. Her arms behind her. That. Her dress ends where her wrist is, but she's a little high, so maybe here. Like that. I got the shape a little bit off. So I want to follow the shadows of the drape of the outfit. Okay. Do her other arm here. And then 3/4 sleeve. Drawing the drape, drawing the shadow, because the shadow is going to guide me when I can't see, you know, what we would normally think of as the drape of the fabric. That's going to help me. She's got some cute shoes. I like these shoes. And this leg is behind. She got some little socks on. Does all style just originate in Japan, right? Seriously. All style originates in Japan. She's holding her pod or her phone right there. And her headphones. So I'm going to just sort of fill in because this dress is so dark and it really doesn't have any sheen on it. You know, she has a bag on that I missed, so I just couldn't see her bag. So we're just going to not make that a thing. Not make that a thing to worry about. Great hair. Great hair. Whoop. Okay. Now, shadow. And she's on a slanted street. Let's make the line there. Oh, yeah, this is a little off. That's okay. Bound to happen. Bound to happen. Sidewalk. Here. That. And I am doing more on the detail spectrum here. There we go. Okay. We got a lot going on behind her. I'm just trying to simplify it as much as I can. So that's another thing this is good for, simplifying your backgrounds. Like, you know, like practicing to simplify your backgrounds. That's that. All right. And then she has another building behind her right over here. Okay. Let's see. Some greenery here. Oh, she looks like she's got a bouffant in my picture. Okay. Next picture is this girl. Let's just knock her down here. Let's just knock this one off. So there's a lot of different, like, we got a number of frames here. So I'm just going to fill in some frames before we move forward. So I have my frame so I know what I'm doing here. Does it appear that I'm saving the lettering for the last? Because it does to me, but that's because I need to get all of these other bits in placement first. And I'm really looking forward to doing my lettering on this. I'm looking forward to it. So you see here, I made a mistake there. Not a mistake, not a mistake. Yes. Her sleeve is not covered by the Tuttle sign, but it is in my piece. Let's see. Can we adjust this a bit? We can. We can adjust it a bit like that. How's that? You can adjust it like that. Hey, I know I'm using pen, but we're gonna make this work because I'm gonna just do this. Watch. T U T. Oop, fit it, fit it. Gotta fit it in. T L. Can I fit an L and an E in? I think I can if I really squeeze it. Okay. All right. I'm gonna have to just use a little bit of space here for just for our space, our word spacing, centering, right? Do you ever get into a picture on a live stream and think, gee, I really picked a very detailed picture to do today? And see, sometimes the things that excite you, that like inspire you, and that make you feel very enthusiastic are things that are going to take longer than an hour to do. So that's kind of where I am right now. And yeah, that's okay. We're going to make this work. Let's work on some folds down here. My mic is like right next to my face, so forgive me for the mouth sounds. I'm apologizing here. Let me apologize for my mouth sounds, please. All right, bottom part of the purse. Are we going to have room for her face? So I have to do... I'm going to start doing her face because her face is cut off and I need to measure where. So see, this is also good for like measuring stuff, or like figuring out, getting comfortable with that. So if her purse ends here, and then her collar's here, and then her collar's there, and then if this collar comes up, and then it's almost at the top of the frame. Just a minute, we're going to draw on the frame here. Okay, so now we have this part, and I'm even giving some margin here. I'm giving some extra. So I'm going to put her neck there, and then she has some little hairs. Not that we need to do that now. And then her face, because this is a very interesting little space here. Collar here. I'm just talking through the process here. Okay, then we have this and that. The inside of the collar, and then it comes out over here, and where it comes out is, yeah, there's her out collar, and then her lip is right there. And then we're going to do the top lip here, and I'm going to have a nose cut off here. I'm going to have a nose. And then we have chin action here, jaw. Okay, and then her neck is there. Her collar's here, and then we have some shadowish space, sort of. We're just drawing what we see. That's it. Now we're going to do a nose. So here's her lip. I forget what they call that. Nose here. There, nostril there. Eye. We have eyeball. You have, let's do body of eye. How am I doing? How am I doing? Precarious, right? There we go. Okay. All right. Got it. One more here. We got the bottom of her ear. Going here. We have collar here. A little shadow of some sort there. A little shadow there. All right, let's get to work on these polka dots and let's add some little, there we go. And let's add some there too. That sort of gives it a little jazz. Like that. And then it's like open like that. Okay. Then we have some fabric. And here I see background. I see like cityscape back there. I don't really feel like doing black behind her. I don't want to fill in with black. I just don't feel like doing that. Get her eye, and then right there. Okay, now we're gonna do her purse. Boy, she's complicated. She's a complicated lady. Okay, there we go. And then flap. All right, now we're filling in with polkas. Keeping this a little bit loose. Oops, I lost my stagger. I lost my stagger. Now we're gonna do some. There we go. There we go. Okay, great. She's done. Let's do the shoes. So it's nice to look at the negative space because that's another little exercise for, figuring out if you're drawing from something and you want to get, you want to keep it like organic feeling, but you also want to get an accurate representation of it on your piece of paper or whatever you're working on. So let's see, shape of foot here. That. And she's got soles. And then there, and then a little bit extra dark there. And then doing the foot there. And now this is going around her ankle. Around her there. And she's got a little sock. Little sock. Now this leg starts here. Let's do some sock. Now I like how you can see the impressions that her toes make there. And we're going to bump right into the little Tuttle logo. Whoops. Oopsies. Okay. Now we have some. This is fun to do because I just thought of this. Sometimes it's nice to have variety in your if you're drawing from representationally. And this little exercise gives you the opportunity to like looser draw a lot of little pictures, looser than you would if you're drawing one big picture. And it also is great for um, trying to get yourself to focus on simplifying details, but still um, representing the details and the decisions of like which details do you want to represent. So there's a lot of like thinky stuff happening when you're doing this because you are measuring. I'm measuring right now. I'm measuring this tree versus this side and then the angle. But you also have to practice like self forgiveness. Like um, you don't want to get too rigid with yourself because that is just not where you want to be when you're creating. That is just not what's going to like move the needle for you. That kind of that rigidity in in like attitude is not gonna serve you. You gotta be loose and you gotta be forgiving. And you gotta just sort of say, hey, how can I fix something? Or if I can, great. If I can't, I'm just gonna make something else happen here. And that's fine. That's why you hear me saying that's okay a lot. Because that's just my way of saying that's okay. That's okay. It's not a big deal. You know, it's really not a big deal. Just make it work. Just make it work, however that means to you. There's a lot of ways to make it work. Because you know why? You're the inventor. Like you're in charge of this. So don't no beat yourself up stuff. None of that. That does not serve you. The beat yourself up stuff is what people do who quit, who quit being an artist, who quit trying. That's what people do who do that. Oh, look, we barely have room for our little lady here. And we also have to do this lady. Oh, she's going to be fun. Let's do this hair. Oh, this is fun. Nose, mouth, lip, jaw, shadow. She is fun. Love the hair. Love the hair. Love it. Her eye is like right there. Okay. It's a little there. I actually think she looked more like her before I did some of this other stuff, but that's okay. I'm gonna make it work. So we still have a lot to go here. We gotta give her a shoulder, big collar, v-neck, fabric, boots and whatever, jacket. There we go. Okay, and then she's got some stuff over here, which is like, what is that? Monkey bars or something? Or a sculpture? She's got a sculpture though. Pretty cool. Okay, that's a nice photo, actually, like that. Her chin a little bit. There we go. And some loose hairs. Okay, she's good. Let's do some little lines to just show that there is value to that coat, even though we're not going to color this in. So I just want to add some value. Okay, good. All right. I'm so sorry, Miss, but I think I think I messed up. I think I messed up and I didn't give you enough space, but you know what? We're gonna make it work. We're gonna make it work. So, oh, I gotta move you a little bit because that's just a little hard for me to see. Okay, let's start with her beret. The beret is very voluminous. And then she's got some cute little bangs. And then she's got some cute little eyes. And let's do a little mouth. Her hair is awesome. Let's do her hair. She's got hair here. And she's got a jacket. So I just take cues from the part that I just completed in order to get to the next part of the drawing. She's good at it. She's very, she feels very mod to me. I'm gonna draw a little hand. Oh. All right, now she's wearing, this is black. That's black. She's got a bag here. This actually came out pretty good for having no space to work in. Do a scarf here. Oh, her scarf and her bag. All right, and then her skirt has buttons on it. And then she even has background, but we mostly got her and we're just sort of lacking room for her background. So we can just leave it and not worry about it. All right, now, oh my gosh, want to see where we are? That's where we are. Oh my gosh, we're doing it. We're doing it. This is like quite the challenge. What's wrong with me? Okay, now we have this guy and we have this background. And I'm gonna draw my squares first, just to give me some sense of what I'm doing. And he's gonna just be a knock. I'm just gonna be able to knock him off really quickly, I think. So he's got his hairline is like, let's do a couple of strays there. Okay. And like that. And then if we go down, so forehead, eyebrow, eyebrow, and then glasses here. He's got his glasses, that. Nose, do that, shadow, nose, nostril, here, still down here. There we go. Jeez, I'm taking this seriously, huh? All right, he's done. Let's do these signs. This like background here. Let's see. And no, I can't read it. And it's in a different language, so it's in Japanese. So I'm just gonna like emulate. You just want to get the general sense of what we're doing here, of what we're seeing. It's the general sense of what we're seeing. It doesn't have to be, we don't want it to be, because think about this. If you, or I'll give you an example rather. So when I was a designer and illustrator for sales and marketing back in the day, and we did some ads that we did were huge, like we did you know, train station takeovers and stuff like that. So we would have to do ads, like graphics, that were ginormous, like, you know, 20 feet, something like that. I don't know. We did ginormous. And what you do is when you're working that size, you don't, when you're sending things to the printer people who make big advertisements like that, you're not sending things in 300 dpi. So if you know anything about resolution, like for print resolution, so 300 dpi is the typical print resolution. Okay, there's people down here, so I'm going to do some little peoples, just some real general peoples, nothing detailed. You don't send high res for giganto graphics that you see in cities, like a billboard. If you look close up at that billboard's like fuzzy. So it's the same idea, I think, in some ways, right? It's you're going to get a better sense of the details if you know, do more general with this type of thing. Like if you get the general, like little gestures and the, you know, you separate out the values, work from that. You work from like values and stuff, and that's going to give you the information that you want to, you know, emulate the actual photo more than if you went in and tried to draw something like super detailed, you know? Oop, see, I didn't even need to do that. This is very typical. I'm explaining a concept, I'm talking and drawing, and then I make a little boo-boo. Or I do something that's, you know, counter to what I'm saying. Yeah, that happens, sure. Yeah, so that's it, there we go. That's good. So let's just add a little bit there, and then we add a little bit there. So yeah, that's the general concept. Okay, let's scooch this. We have a little bit left here. There we are. That's where we are now. And we're going to finish this top area here. And we have a few more little people to do. So I'm going to move you down a little closer to me, like that, so I can see what I'm doing, and you can see the reference pictures. Oh, I don't know if I can work this way. Hold on. Let's do, can we do like that a little better? A little better for me and for you. Okay. This might get in my way, actually. I'm gonna move it like, oh, you know what I'm gonna do? Let's do that. Yeah, let's do that. So that's better for me because then I'm gonna try and adjust my lamp a little bit so you're not getting my shadows like crazy as much. You probably still will a little bit, but okay. So here we have, live stream problems. Okay, let's trying to draw. What's in my way? Okay, it's gonna do lines. Oh, we have a couple left. This is great. Pretty soon we're gonna be lettering. I can't wait. Oh, I can wait because I have to. Okay, let's start with this girl. And then she got a cute little beanie. Oh, wait a minute. Okay. Wait a minute. Her head is starting here. So that means I gotta go there. And there. And then she got a cute little barrette here. And then she's doing like her hair like that. And it's framing her face like that. And then from there, this is around where her eye is. So we're gonna just do that. And then her other eye's here. And a little eyebrow. And another little eyebrow. And then she has some hair here. And then you see how I'm just kind of going off the last thing I drew. So I see some shadow here. I'm just going to do that. And then I'm going to see where her nose is. So her nose goes down. I don't want to get too crazy with this either. I'm not going to get too crazy. Too wild. Okay, that. And then we have her hair. So now we're going to shape her face. And she's like that. Little. There we go. She got a smile. She got a smile. She got a little crease right there. Okay. Lip. And then a little chin. And then there's her face, the side of it. And then she has hair. And it comes like that. Okay, let's see. A little closer here. A little tooth right there. Some little cute little eyes. Here we go. Just a dab, just a dab. Just a little dab. Okay, and then her friend has a little bow. And her little bow starts about here. So let's just draw in her little bow. We're just going to go from the bow. Going from the bow. And then, so see how her hair's here? That's where I'm going to start little bangs. So here, there, and then bangs there. And her bangs are like that. And then she's got a little barrette here. And then we're going to go like that. And then her eye is, well, she has some hair there. And then her eye is like a little eyebrow here. And then her little eye is right here. And then she got a cute little sparkly under her eye. That, okay. She looks like a little cute elf. She's got a little elfy look. Okay, there. And then little nose, crease, smile. Let's get her nose down. We have there. Okay. And then that helps me to see what's going on here. I need to see this shape, the ins and outs. You know what I mean? Ins and outs. And then she has a little smile. And then her little chin's right there. And her jacket is like that. And then her jacket, her hair is more like, she has like a curl. And then chin, jacket, collar, big fuzzy collar. Okay, here we go. And she has a collar. And I think she has a little bow in here. So that's kind of cute. And then we're going to give her some shadow. Okay. So now we just see some stuff behind. Okay. Now we're going to go to these three. Let's just put them right there. And then I'm going to give them a little more room than I originally like that. All right. We're going to go real loose here. Real loose. Glasses. Little lips. Hair. Ears. Ear, rather. Hair. Sweater. Sweater gesture going on here. She's wearing like she's got a sweatshirt style shirt. There's a lot of folds in it. Her arms, her sleeves are rolled up. She's holding her bag right there. And it's out of frame, that's okay. She's got a big belt on, voluminous skirt, and a little pixie boot showing on the bottom there. Okay. So that's good. And then she has some design on her shirt here. This lady has a hat like that, hair, little bangs, and she's got eyes, face, collar. That's her move. She's got a collar. She's very like, I don't know, priest-ish. Priest chic, I guess. I don't know. And then her little hand has really, I gotta look a little closer. Oh, she's holding a boxing glove. Okay, cool. She's got a boxing glove going on here. Not sure what that's about, but let's see if we can make it look like a boxing glove. Kind of. Also kind of looks like a bag, but I think she might be wearing a cape. I'm not sure, but everything she's got on is black, so that's our challenge. Our challenge is to let her have her style. Oh, she has a bag. Okay, she has a bag there. That we want to showcase her style, but also realize that we're drawing like 3 little dots in this whole picture. And it's not, she's not going to get a lot of detail. Okay. And then number 3 over here is, let's see, how are we going to do this? Who's here? Who's here? We have a pole here. Yeah, we're going to anchor her to the pole, and we're going to anchor her to her friend here. She's got some roots going. That's her look. Her look is roots. And then and she got a jacket across her shoulders, some buttons on it. And then her dress has all patterns on it. Like that. Her jacket's black too. And I don't see her hand, so. Oh, I think that might be another glove. Excuse, my stomach is grumbling. Oh, I think I may have cracked the code. I think they might, I think maybe they're coming from like boxing class. I'm not sure. A little hard to tell. I feel like this might be something that she uses in boxing class. I'm not really sure, but that's just an observation from looking at this teeny, teeny, tiny little picture. I think they might be coming from boxing class and carrying their gear. I'm not sure, but that would make sense to the boxing glove. Although, you know, she could just be carrying it because for whatever reason, it might have nothing to do with where she's going. Just think about. Okay. All right. No, there's some people behind her, but we don't have to draw them. Okay, great. Oh, there's like a little head over here. Oh my God, my stomach. Stop that. My stomach's making so much noise right now. All right. Earring. Easy. We have an earring and we're going to draw it. We're going to draw it so quickly. We're going to draw it like that because there's a little ear here, and there's a neck, and there's a little ear hole, and there's some hair. So look, it's even like a face. I didn't pick up on that until just now. And then we have a little black space here, negative space. All right, it's time to do our lettering here. We're just going in. Oh, you know what I'm going to do? Yes. Yes, I'm going to do it. Going with my brush pen. Going with my brush pen. Go in with the brush pen. I think it's a better experience if I even out my camera for you like that. Man, it's taken us a long time to get to this point, hasn't it? It really has. I'm just trying to see where what's going on with my screen here. Oops. You hear my stomach growl again. What's going on here? I think I haven't eaten anything today. That's what I think. Okay. Philomena Keats, photography by Yuri Monaby. Okay, I'm gonna start. Actually, I'm gonna turn you because it's just not good to not have like a good view. Like, why? And even now, like for brush pens for me, I feel like angle is like a lot. Like where you're coming at it from and whether you're pushing or pulling or all that. That's a lot. And right now I'm in a very strange up and down right angle type of a situation, and I don't love it, but that's okay. It looks good. That looks good. All right, let's readjust here. Now we're going to write photography by Yuri Manabe, and I'm going to start with the Yuri Manabe stuff because I'm just going in Yuri. And then photography by, which starts over here. It's going to start over here for us for this rendition. Photography by. All right, now Here we go. That's probably better. Almost done. Almost done. We're going back to the other pen now. A guide to Tokyo's trendiest fashion districts. A guide. All right. Center. All right. just adding some texture and some value and some more shape to this. And finishing touches to my rendition of this cover. I hope that you enjoyed this today, and I hope you have an amazing day. I will be back at 12:30 for excuse me, for Quiet Time Live, and have a wonderful time the rest of your day. Okay, bye.